There is a gap opening right now between online business owners who understand how to use AI and those who don't. And that gap is getting bigger every single month. But you are actually not behind yet, because the reality is most people using AI right now are using it in the most basic way possible. They open ChatGPT, they type a question, they get a generic answer, they copy and paste it, and they wonder why it doesn't really work for their business. So in this video, I want to show you a different approach, a real roadmap, step by step. You will learn why AI works the way it does in simple terms. Don't worry, you don't need a tech background to understand it. And you will learn the number one mistake that people make when they start using AI tools. Plus, I'll show you a practical framework that you can use to get much better results from any AI tool. And I'll also show you how to figure out which AI tool is actually right for your specific task. And before we dive into the roadmap, I want to address something. Because I know that a lot of people watching this feel one of these three things. The first one is, I'm not technical. And I hear this all the time. But here's the truth. Modern AI tools are not built for developers. They're built for regular people. You don't need to know how to code. You don't need to understand how the technology works under the hood. If you can type a sentence and read a response, you can use AI. That's literally the whole skill at the beginning. The second one is, there are too many tools. I don't know where to start. And yes, there are thousands of AI tools out there. New tools launch every single week. But let me tell you a secret. You don't need most of them. You can do 90% of what you need to do as an online business owner with just 3 to 5 tools. The rest are either doing the same thing, or maybe they're built for very specific use cases that probably don't even apply to you. And the third thing I hear a lot is, it's changing way too fast. By the time I learn something, it's already outdated. I understand why it feels that way. After all, I make reviews of AI tools on this channel every single week, and I often need to redo the whole video right before going live, because while I was testing the tool for the video, the team was working on a new interface behind the scene. And by the time I'm going live, there is a major update and I need to change many things on the fly. But what doesn't change are the fundamentals. How to prompt well, how to give AI the right context, and how to use it as part of your workflow. Those skills work in any tool, and they will still work 2 years from now. So if any of those 3 things have been stopping you, let's put them aside right now and just focus on what actually matters. Before I show you how to use AI really well, I want to spend just a few minutes on why it works the way it does. Because once you understand this, everything else makes more sense. AI doesn't actually know anything. That sounds strange, but stay with me. What AI does is predict. It has been trained on a massive amount of text, articles, books, websites, conversations, and it learned from all of that which words and ideas tend to appear together. So when you ask AI a question, it doesn't go look up the answer. It generates the most statistically likely response based on everything that it has learned. Think of it like this. If I said bread, and your brain immediately went to butter, right? You didn't look it up. You predicted it based on everything that you have seen before in this world. AI does the same thing, just with billions of examples. And here is why this matters for you. If you give AI a vague input, you will get a vague output. It's not magic, it's pattern matching. This is the foundation of everything that we will talk about in this video. The quality of what you get from AI depends almost entirely on the quality of what you give it. Plus, most people use AI as separate, unrelated chats. And then they're surprised. Why does this keep making the same mistakes or giving the same undesirable results? This is why people say, AI doesn't work for my business. But that is completely fixable. I'll show you exactly how a bit later in this video. But first, I want to talk about the mistake almost everyone makes when they start using AI. Someone opens Claude or ChatGPT and types something like, "Write me a caption for Instagram." And they get something back that sounds like it was written by a robot for nobody in particular. And then they think, well, AI doesn't work for me. But that's not an AI problem, that's the input problem. So here's what I mean. That prompt gave AI almost nothing to work with. No context about who you are, no context about who your audience is, no context about what you're selling or what tone you use usually in your Instagram captions. So compare that to this. I run an online business selling digital templates for small business owners. My audience is mostly women who run their businesses alone, so write me 3 Instagram captions for a new Canva template pack. The tone should feel warm and practical, not corporate. See, you get a completely different result. Not because AI got smarter, but because you gave it more to work with. This is what I want you to remember. AI is not smart on its own. You make it smart by giving it the right context. And this brings me to something important, because context is not just about text prompts. If you don't choose the right AI tool to do the right job, it's also out of context. And this is where most online business owners waste most of their time. So let me show you what I mean. Not every AI tool is built for the same thing. Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, these are mostly text tools. They're great for writing, for research, for brainstorming, for analyzing information, and I use them every day. But when it comes to visuals, when you need to create something that actually looks good on screen, then text AI tools have real limits here. And this is where I see online business owners waste a lot of their time because they try to use, say, ChatGPT to generate images for their brand, and they get something that looks generic or just completely off. The colors don't match, the typography looks random, and you have no real control over the output. So I want to show you something, because this is actually a perfect example of using the right AI tool for the right job. And this part of the video is sponsored by Kittle, and I want to show you the 3 things that it can do, because all 3 are inside the same tool, which is exactly the point. The first thing is the templates. Kittle has over 70,000 of them, including brand builder templates like these. So I don't start from scratch every time. I pick one as a foundation, I go into the editor, adjust the colors, the typography, and I lock in my brand direction. Once that base is set, I can scale it to anything. Social posts, thumbnails, banners, posters, everything stays consistent because everything is in vector and it's editable. That's a brand system, not some random designs generated by AI. The second thing is Kittle flows. This is where it gets interesting. Once I have my base designs, Flow lets me generate infinite variations of it. Icon sets, mock-ups, different sizes, all inside the same canvas. So instead of recreating every asset one by one, I generate variations in seconds. Same brand, different formats, and no extra tools. And the third thing is Kittle Video. You can turn any design into an animation right inside the same canvas. No exporting to another tool. You don't need to learn a new platform. You can design, create variations, animate, all in one place. This is what I mean when I say you should use the right tool for the right job. One tool that actually covers the full visual workflow instead of 3 separate subscriptions. You can try Kittle for free using the link in the description. Now that we understand the basics, I want to help you figure out where you actually are right now, because the right next step looks different depending on where you're starting from. There are three types of AI users that I see in the online business world. The first type is the explorer. You're not trying to build anything complex, you just want to make your work a little easier. You want to summarize documents faster, to write more clear emails, to come up with content ideas when you're stuck. For you, the goal is simple. You want more time and less stress. And honestly, this alone already puts you ahead of most people. Now, the second type is the power user. You want to do more and you want to do it faster. You're already using AI for maybe writing and brainstorming, but you want to start stacking tools together. Maybe you use one tool for research, another for content, another for visuals. So what you're trying to do is to build a workflow, not just using one single tool. This is where things start to get really interesting. And the third type is the builder. You want to go deeper, you want to automate repetitive tasks, you want to connect your tools together and build systems that run without you doing anything manually. Tools like Zapier or Make will let you connect different apps and automate steps in your workflow, all without any coding. Now, you don't need to be a builder to get real value from AI. I believe that most of my audience is somewhere between explorer and power user, and that's completely fine. The important thing is to know where you are and focus on the right things instead of feeling like you need to learn everything at once. So which one are you right now? Let me know in the comments. I'm really curious to know. Now, let's talk about the main categories of AI tools, because this is what will help you stop feeling overwhelmed every time that you see a new AI tool mentioned somewhere. When you understand the categories, you realize that most new tools are just a variation of something that already exists. So I already talked about the text AI tools, and most people start with them. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, they're incredibly versatile. You can do writing, research, summarizing, brainstorming, you can analyze documents, you can answer questions. This is where you start. Then you've got image AI tools. And the quality of what these tools can create right now is honestly very impressive. I already mentioned that Kittle is a great tool for everything visual, and it gives you access to the latest and best AI image generating models. But you know, ChatGPT's image generator also allows you to generate and then edit in the same conversation. You can ask it to change specific details using plain language. Then we have video AI tools. This is one of the fastest moving areas right now. Tools like Veo from Google or Kling can generate full video scenes from just a text prompt. You simply describe what you want to see and it creates the video. And there is also image to video, where you provide a starting image and the tool animates it. For online business owners, this is becoming really useful because you can create content without always being on camera yourself. And we also have audio AI tools. Text-to-speech has come a very long way. Tools like 11 Labs, they can generate voiceovers that sound natural and conversational. You can even clone your own voice. And music generation tools like Suno let you create full background music from a simple text description. And you don't need to use all of this, but knowing that they exist means that when you have a specific problem, let's say you need a voiceover for a video, but you don't want to record it yourself, or maybe you are sick on that day. Well, in that case, you know that there is a tool for that and you know where to look for it. Here is something that will save you a lot of confusion. When you scroll through lists of AI tools online, you will see hundreds of them. New ones come out every week, like I said, but you probably didn't realize that a huge number of those tools are not actually new AI systems. They're what people in the industry call wrappers, meaning that they are built on top of an existing AI like ChatGPT or Claude, but they have a specific interface and they serve for a specific use case. For example, there are tools built just for writing email subject lines, or some tools for writing product descriptions for Etsy shops. And under the hood, most of them are just using ChatGPT or another similar model, but they have added a nice interface and pre-built prompts for that specific task. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes the convenience is really worth it. But what I want you to understand is that in most cases, you could get a similar result yourself using a well-written prompt in Claude or ChatGPT for free, or at least at much lower cost, just using your monthly subscription in one of these models. But there are also other examples, like I use one tool for Pinterest pins. It's called Blog to Pin, to automatically generate pins and schedule them on my Pinterest account. It uses AI tools to generate the images, to generate texts, and it's connected to Pinterest's official API, and it knows my Pinterest boards, and it combines a lot of these processes in one tool, and they all work together to create the pins, to schedule them to the most relevant boards on my account, and it even keeps a safe interval between the pins. So I don't get flagged on the platform for pinning too much, for example. Even if I tried to prompt Claude or ChatGPT to do something like this, I could never replicate such a smooth workflow. Even if I tried to connect, 5 different tools with make.com, it wouldn't work so smoothly. So what I'm trying to say is, when you hear the word a wrapper, don't immediately run away. Some of these tools are actually so good at doing their specific job that their monthly subscription is really worth it for your business. And now I want to talk about the framework that will actually fix the input problem that I described earlier. Every good AI prompt has the same 3 parts: role, context, and a task. So what does the role mean? You tell AI who it should be, not something like just write me a caption. You should say, you are a social media strategist who works with small online businesses. This already shapes every word of the response that you will get back. AI will pull from a completely different set of knowledge depending on the role that you gave it. Second, context. You should give it the background information. Who is your audience? What is your product? What stage of your business are you in right now? The more specific you're here, the better. You can literally paste in your website's about page, your product description, maybe examples of content that you've written before, and all of it will help you. And the third thing is the task. You should be very specific about what you want. So your prompt shouldn't be just help me with marketing. You should say, write 5 email subject lines for a welcome sequence for new subscribers. They signed up for a free guide about Canva templates. Keep the tone friendly and encouraging. So let me show you the difference in practice. A weak prompt would be, write a blog post about productivity. Now, AI has to guess everything. Who is your audience? What's the tone? How long should be the post? What angle on productivity? And a strong prompt. You are a content writer for online business owners. I run a blog for solopreneurs who want to work few hours. Write me a 600-word blog post about how to plan your week on Sunday evening so you avoid decision fatigue on Monday. Use a friendly, practical tone. Include 3 specific tips. You see, we are giving it the same topic, but we will get completely different output. And one more thing, you shouldn't stop at the first answer. You should treat AI like a conversation. You should say something like, this is good, but you should make it shorter. Or, can you give me 3 more options in a different tone? Or, rewrite this part, but make it sound less formal. The first output is rarely the best one. And by doing more iterations and by chatting with your ChatGPT or Claude, you get a better quality. And most people will just stop too early on the first result. Now, I mentioned this at the beginning, and I want to come back to it because this is one of the most practical things you can do with AI. AI starts fresh every single conversation, if you do it that way. So if you want consistent results, you need a system for giving it context every time. The simplest way to do this is just to build what I call a business context document. It's just a text file, nothing fancy. Inside of it, you can write down what your business does and who is it for, what your tone of voice sounds like. You can even include examples of your previous content that you've already written or published somewhere. And you should mention who is your ideal customer and what they care about. Maybe what products or services you're selling, any specific things that you always want AI to do, or maybe something that you always want AI to avoid. In Claude, for example, you can save this document directly in the project settings, so every time when it creates anything for you within that project, it first looks at that information, at the background information. While in some other tools, you might just have to upload this document at the start of your chat together with your actual prompt every time. This one habit will change everything for you because you will notice that AI doesn't give you generic answers anymore. It will start giving you answers that actually fit your business. And you only have to write this document once. You can update it if you want, you can change something if your business changes, but the core stays the same. It's probably 30 minutes of work, but it will pay you back every single week. So how do you actually use AI in your daily work? I'll give you a practical approach for how to start. Step 1, start with one task that you already do every week. Don't try to change everything at once. Pick just one thing. Maybe it's writing your email newsletter. Maybe it's coming up with content ideas, or maybe it's answering your customer questions. Just one thing. And for that one task, you should start using AI every time when you do it. Step 2, build your own prompt template. When you start using AI more regularly, you will notice that some prompts work better than others. So save those prompts somewhere, the ones that are good. You're basically building your own shortcut library. This is what makes AI faster over time for your specific tasks. Now, step 3, gradually add more tasks. Once AI feels natural for that first task, then you should add the second one, the third one, and after a few weeks, you will realize that AI has saved you real hours in your week. Not because you learned every single tool, but because you build a consistent habit with the tools that matter for your work specifically. All right, so how do you go from good to great at using AI? AI can generate a lot and it can generate fast. But without your judgment applied to it, it's just output. It's not your content, your brand, your voice. So your job is not to just AI let do everything for you. You should use it to move faster, to get strong starting point, to explore options that you might not even have thought about. But then you should make the judgment calls yourself. AI doesn't replace you. It only helps you move faster with what you already know. So you're not behind, but the window to get ahead is right now. You should start with one small thing this week. And if you want to leave a comment below telling me which task you're going to try first, I promise I will read every single one. And if you want to learn more about how I use AI tools in my online business, I have more videos linked for you up there and there, so you can check them out later, and I'll see you in the next one.